Welcome. This presentation is a report from the February 7th, 2020 ITAC meeting. ITAC is the VCCCD Instructional Technology Advisory Committee. We are currently rotating our visits to each campus to demonstrate new educational technologies for the classroom. Here are some highlights from our last meeting.
Take those courses that are on the exchange at other schools. It'll be interesting to see what that number is. Because, I mean, that's the overall intent, right? Is that if a student can't get a course here, they can go on the exchange and get that course. And likewise, if they can't get a course at one of their local colleges, they can go on the exchange and get one of our courses.
OEI application for Oxnard. It's going around across campus to answer several questions on that application. My hope is that we have it complete by our next DDEAC meeting.
Your numbers are on the right, so just come find me, Marla.
This is only recording.
Oh, you're a math teacher, aren't you?
Allie. So I had extra cards for the people that are online. We could pretend to be them, but for the sake of the presentation, I think we'll just get started. You can kind of imagine what these are. They're paper clickers. Okay, these are just pieces of paper that have like a QR code. And what I can do is I can scan them using my either my phone or my iPad or any tablet. So if you look on here, there's letters A, B, C, or D. Just hold up the answer to this question. What's your favorite fast food of these four? And then I'm scanning them. So Jennifer, you can see I have your vote. Matthew, Aaron, Sharon, Dan.
Oh my God.
I got your vote, Dan. Grant. And then you want to make sure you're not covering it with your fingers.
I don't like any of them.
And if you change your mind, you can vote again. You can keep voting until I close it.
Wait, how do I know what I'm voting for?
It's the
letter that's on the very top. So that's the great thing about this. If your name's not lit up, I know you didn't answer.
I know.
So I can kind of hassle you a little bit. Oh, why didn't you answer? Right? Okay, everyone get their vote in. So these were the results.
Which one did I pick?
Most people liked Chick-fil-A the best.
Oh man, I totally missed that.
Okay, so that was 6 people.
You missed it.
Followed by Subway, then Taco Bell, and one person likes McDonald's in here.
That was me. Oh.
Yeah? See, but the thing about clickers, it's anonymous.
Right.
Unless I just know that you that I got your vote, but you don't have to put your answers up here. So I wouldn't know that you put McDonald's as number 1.
So Spanish students hold on to these the whole semester?
Yeah, they keep them. I print them in the Copy Center, and then they just keep those little cardboard.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So that was
I have been using Respondus to help me generate large question banks in Canvas. So I teach chemistry here at Ventura College, and so a lot of problems are very algorithmic, so I can make lots of limiting reactant problems just by changing a few numbers, changing out a compound. So I can generate quizzes with large question banks by using Excel and Word, and then importing these formatted questions into Respondus, which helps me create a a question bank in Canvas very easily. And if you look closely, you'll see that there's 1,320 naming questions in here. So that allows me to have students be able to do multiple attempts on a quiz, and I can show their answers after every single attempt. So there's kind of broken it down into different groups of names, and so this allows the students to kind of take it over and over again and hopefully learn from any errors, and they're not going to see tons of repeats. The really great thing about Respondus is that you can write your own questions using Excel and using Word, and you can, if you put it in the right format, you can upload it into Respondus, import it into Respondus, and then further into Canvas.
Gabriella Wood, and I teach biology. I'll be telling you about ZipGrade and kind of a few things that I've used it for. I know put the web link under my name. It's going to take you to ZipGrade directly. So there are some benefits that I want to point out. This would replace the traditional Scantrons, so those kind of things that you have your students purchase, and then they have to be run through the machine. I made that sound. It wasn't a computer. And so the other thing is it's inexpensive even if the college won't pay for it. I've been using this for over a year, hoping, wishing that someone will pay for it here. We have about 20 plus people using it at this point, and we just pay for it for a yearly license. Yes?
Yeah, one of the instructors, I think it was Chloe, asked, like, hey, can we get a site? I looked, and there really wasn't a site license for it, but I think that if we can kind of go to Academic Senate and say, hey, can we replace our Scantron environment with this, we can divert those monies to pay for these licenses instead. So
Yeah. Scantron's pretty expensive to actually.
it is very expensive, so we'd probably save money by getting rid of that.
Yes, grant. I really like that. It's mobile app friendly, so whether you're an Android fan or iPhone fan, it doesn't matter. You can actually have an app on your phone, and you can scan these ZipGrade forms. And what you see on the screen on the top right is 3 screenshots of an actual phone. In this case, you see an iPhone. So you can create an unlimited number of quizzes, up to 100 questions. It's pretty easy to scan because it is kind of like the QR code or the clicker that you saw earlier. It's got definite points of contact with your camera. And then it actually stores actual images of the papers for reports and export, which I've used extensively. I have students that want to know what their scores were, how they answered questions. And so I can send them a PDF of their results with their name that they wrote on the Scantron, which is, I think, pretty powerful. The accessibilities, you can use old exams for practice, and what I want to show you there is on the doc cam when I say that. So this is just like my exam from last year, and it has a bunch of information here. But this is like an example of what a Scantron would look like, and I give them 100 questions, so this is pretty extensive. But one thing that I do with my students is I actually give them a practice exam, so they can practice using this type of Scantron. Because I do give online quizzes that are weekly and they're on Canvas, I want them to have an opportunity to practice using a Scantron by hand.
Booyah!
In addition to Plickers, Respondus, and ZipGrade, we had time to demonstrate Camtasia. But instead of demoing how to use Camtasia, this entire presentation is an example of the output of Camtasia. So where you can mix video streams, screencasts, and instruction for your students or a school message. Well, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We are the Instructional Technology Advisory Committee, commonly known as ITAC, and we are looking for faculty input from all campuses, and we are touring each campus. So we'll see you at your campus soon. Thanks for listening.